All right, here we are again.
In the bathtub. The bathtub of podcasts.
We're still trapped in the, I almost said Limp Mansion. Where are we?
Wow. We just time traveled.
3 years past.
3 years.
Or back.
We're still here.
But we are still trapped in the Myrtle's bathroom. And we're not recording this back to back.
No.
We legitimately took our podcast bathroom apart.
We did. Slept.
Had a whole day. And then rebuilt it with all our blankets and pillows. And it's really cozy. This is a very interesting bathroom.
Oh, forgot to mention, we did some paranormal investigating last night as well.
Yeah.
Throughout the plantation.
We were full of activities.
Yeah.
And bug bites.
I was going to say, yeah, definitely. When that sucker bit me on my nose, I was about to call it quits.
That's the worst. You feel so offended.
Like
when
on
they
my face.
Bite you on like the cheek or something.
I got
and
one on
you're
my
like,
cheek too.
I have chubby cheeks already. I don't need this.
Now it's bigger. Yeah.
And everybody's like, that's not it. It's a bug bite.
No, that's so true. When it bit me on my nose, it's like, first of all, how did I not see it on my nose? Because, it's right there.
Oh, no. They are
quick.
So elusive.
Man.
They're just, and it's fucking dark.
Yeah.
Darker than dark.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the Myrtle's plantation. This is night 2 for us.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh my gosh.
Nope.
And this is a podcast.
And we're the creatures of the night.
Yeah, this is the Creatures of the Night podcast.
P.S. I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
And we do this podcast thing.
Yeah, we're going to do this. So,
as you were saying.
Yeah, as I was saying, the Myrtle's is dark as fuck. They have solar-powered lights, but I guess when it's cloudy and you have giant fucking swamp trees around, you don't actually get light on your solar. So that path wasn't lit up at all. And it was just like, you stepped on a solar light. Don't tell the people that, in case it's broke. I almost went into a tree.
And I don't know why, but you just telling me all of this as if I wasn't there, but I was. I just remembered that we are in a swamp. Yes. And we were walking around in the fucking dark in the swamp. What is wrong with us? And we're going to do it again tonight?
Yes. I'm pretty certain there's not water out there.
I'm fine with ghost gators. I'm not cool with gators.
But no, tell them what we saw though. That you were like, it's a bunny.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Which totally could see how it's a bunny.
It was pushing 2:00 in the morning, and we'd been up and on our feet for a very long time. And I'm not talking clearly as we're doing our paranormal investigating, but from the flight and
flight to be here in New Orleans, walk. We walked to New Orleans, and then we drove to St. Francis.
So then
long fucking day.
It was a long fucking day. So it's at that point of the night where I'm questioning what I'm really seeing.
Your sanity.
Am I delirious? Do I actually see something? So I left Wendy. She's actually taking pictures of the Myrtles in what is the courtyard. I saw something out in the darkness, and I'm like, okay, Chris, are you losing it? Or is there something there? So I had a headlamp. I don't always wear my headlamp, but it was one of those.
They make you look like a geek.
Because I look like I'm a professional, is what you meant to say.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
No. It makes me look like a fucking geek. So I don't like wearing it, but it is very handy, especially when you have to blind people.
Well, no, when you have your hands full of equipment.
Hands are full of equipment. Can't be dedicated to just my light. So that's why I have the one on my forehead.
No. Yeah.
It is geeky.
They are super convenient.
It is convenient. What I need to do, Wendy, is just get a badass hat. If I get the badass, the fisherman's hat, they have the LEDs on the front.
How are you going to do your hair like that, though?
I'll just put it in a ponytail.
You have hat hair all the time.
I'll get the front of the hat will say Creatures of the Night.
Cute hats that make
bust.
room for your fun ponytail.
Yes. Oh, like a bun hat or whatever.
We'll be the cutest ghost hunters ever.
Done. Let's just edit all that out, because every ghost hunter's going to want one now, because we just came up with that. So
that's our patent idea. Don't you fucking take it.
Trademark. Copyright. So anyways, I'm questioning my sanity. I'm walking out into beyond the courtyard, actually going towards the cabins, looking at something
towards the water.
Towards the water. Towards the water. Right. Towards the.
I told you I was losing it. I'm like, there's no water out there.
Where the beautiful ducks are.
Where those ducks were living.
And the
there's
frog.
a gazebo.
The frog.
Oh, the frogs were so cute.
The baby frogs we saw. So anyways, I'm walking over there and it bounces away. Like quickly, I was like, fuck, yes, it's a bunny. Like I wanted to high five myself so bad. And I would have too if I had thought about that. But I was so delirious that I was just like, yes, I'm not going crazy. So I turned around, I spun around. I was like, y'all, I just saw a bunny. And Wendy's like, bunny? And so she's like, yes, let's go find it. And it turns out it's actually not a bunny.
Like Snow White. I kind of like love all animals.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to see this fucking bunny. I've seen probably 10,000 bunnies in my life. But
I took really good pictures of the one from the other plantation today too. I have to show you.
Yeah, that bunny, because the bunny
that was a jackrabbit. He was
no, it wasn't.
Boy.
I've seen a jackrabbit before.
Okay, then.
But out in Arizona,
no, it wasn't like
all the bunnies are like tiny until
you
get to jackrabbits.
Okay, I was
jackrabbits are like dogs.
This guy was. I got pictures of him in motion jumping away. So
the bunny. Oh.
Yeah, that's a cool picture.
Yeah. So you get close to it. Does it have bunny ears?
No, it has a long tail, not a fluffy one. As a matter of fact, it has no fur. If it does, it's like horsehair. Because I've never gotten that close to an aardvark. Armadillo? What was it called?
Armadillo.
It's an armadillo. Because I'm like, anteater. I shouted something like when I saw the long tail. And I'm like, because it's not a bunny. My brain is registering something else unique. And maybe I said aardvark last night too. Oh my God, it's an aardvark. And Wendy's like, it's an antelope. What did you say? I can't even remember.
Oh God, now I'm thinking about it. It's an armadillo.
Armadillo. It was clearly.
I'm like, it's an aardvark. Yeah.
Right. You know what? No, I think I screamed out it's a possum because
we did. We thought it was a raccoon possibly because it was moving really slow.
It was low to the ground and it was
basically
we
thought it was everything that it wasn't.
It wasn't a bunny.
I did not expect to see a fucking armadillo.
No.
In the middle of grass and just like a field.
And it's so funny.
I only normally see them dead on the road.
Me too. What they look like dead, turned upside down with their cute. I mean, they are actually very cute.
They're very cute.
So when Wendy got close to it, he scurried
like
fast.
Ugly cute.
Huh?
They're like ugly cute. Though.
I love ugly cute.
I love ugly.
Like pugs or bulldogs.
Absolutely, like
so cute.
They're the best. I like hairless cats.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know about hairless dogs.
Ooh,
but hairless cats. I'm all about
short-haired dogs.
Short-haired dogs. Okay.
That's
as far as we're gonna go. But so then we got close to the thing. Like I said, it scurried, and then all of a sudden, bitch started bouncing again. I was like, "See, that's why I thought it was a bunny. I'd never seen an armadillo bounce like that."
Right? I've barely seen them alive, so I was like, "That bitch is bouncing."
So, for all of you who are listening to this podcast, and you're like, "When the fuck are they gonna get to the ghosts?" I want to remind you that this is called Creatures of the Night.
Exactly.
So, boom. You just got your creature.
I'm glad you saved that for us. Not just that, we saw a deer too. Oh. Well, I didn't see the deer. You saw the deer.
Oh, and it snorted at us.
And then
Wendy didn't see it. And I
gotta get some better glasses.
We were all together with two house guests. One of them who has an ability, she can sense different energies. So I thought that it might be fun to have her tag along with us. Her and her husband, they both feel like they can sense different things. And I'm open to that sort of thing. We're open to having people join us, especially if they're...
just met these people and they were super nice, came right up to us, shared a photo from their room, let us
beautiful
go in
photos.
their room.
Yeah, let us take photos of their own haunted room. Let us hang out in there. They were super chill, relaxed, cool people. Loved having them with us. So they wanted to kind of hang out with us while we did our ghost thing, which was kind of cool because they were not the frightened sort. A lot of people that we run into when we're investigating hotels or bed and breakfasts, there are other people staying. They're kind of intimidated. They want to know, but they also want to hide. These guys were very open to it. They weren't hiding. They were just like, what do you see? Let me look through your camera while you're taking the pictures.
Honestly, I get the sense that, she was younger than us.
Yes.
She repeatedly called me ma'am.
I know, me too. And I was like, wait a second. I know we're in the South, but I didn't realize I was that old.
So she was very sweet. They both were very sweet. And she had told us that, like, she's been having these experiences. She's very intrigued by it, but she hasn't, like, exactly like mastered whatever might be going on with her.
She hasn't fine-tuned her skills.
Right. So I think she enjoyed going out and experiencing and trying to have people that like ourselves that use techniques and, you know, to really examine the situation.
And technology. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're looking for the evidence, or we're looking for something to...
We're recording it. We're looking for it. We're not just going out there and acting as mediums or whatever, because we don't necessarily have that ability. But I think she was testing her skills against what we might find with our own technical equipment.
Which, again, was also very cool.
She was using us, basically.
Well,
no.
were kind of... we were open to that. We wanted her to come along.
No, it was a mutual using, because I thought it was cool to have, like, we'd never had somebody that was like, I think I might be a medium. And we're like, cool.
Okay.
Would you like to?
I think we would like for you to come with us. So
we try different experiments out all the time. We buy different equipment just to see how it goes. Somebody gave us a ghost app to try out. We're like, sure, okay. We'll don't typically use our cell phones, our apps,
for sure. But hey, you know what?
You say, we're open to like
trying
show us
new
what you
things.
got.
Right.
And let's see what works. So this chick might possibly be a medium, and we're like, cool, come with us.
Right. So it was fun. And not to just, I guess, end the story there, but I would like to say that when you paranormal investigate as long as we have, you become more open to feeling things as well. And I'm not going to sit here and say that we're sensitives or we're mediums or anything like that. It's just that you pick up on things that you might not pick up on if you don't go paranormal investigating all the time. Right. It was interesting for me to see if we had any feelings.
The same as hers.
Exactly. At the same time, she was picking something up too. So...
And she asked me right before you saw the bunny armadillo aardvark.
Oh, she did? Yeah.
I was talking with her, and she was like, so like, you're sensitive too, right? And I was like, I'm not gonna.
She said that to you?
She asked me that. And she asked if we are sensitives too. Actually, I was making it all about myself for a second. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, we've been doing this for a while. You pick up a vibe, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Sometimes you never get that gratification of like. And that's what she said to me. She was like, yeah, I'm still working on mine. And I was like, yeah, sometimes you won't seem to find the justification for how you felt.
Right.
And you'll be like, maybe that was fucking nothing.
Maybe it was gas. I mean, seriously, because the feelings that I normally get are my stomach gets queasy. Like when we're in a cemetery and then I get a picture of what we call the samurai ghost. Then I'm like, wait, why did I have that feeling? It was linked to this ghost.
Right. And then 3 weeks later, you have bad stomach pains and stuff like that from something you ate.
And I have to get my appendix removed. You know, it's one of those.
And then you're, oh, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it did happen. Yes.
That's a story for another time, because I really love that location.
Yeah, me too.
We did the James Eldridge house in Illinois. If anybody wants to look it up, we won't tell the story right now. That's definitely a whole podcast. But no, that wasn't it. Oh my God.
I was just going to say.
Edit that out.
But I do like that. It's
just Ashmore.
It was Sedumsville.
Oh my God.
It was a location that you absolutely fucking hated.
I'm just name dropping all these cool locations we've been to.
And we've been to Waverly and we've been to Mansville. And oh my God, what about that one time at the Limp? No. No.
The Limp was awesome.
No shit.
They're all pretty awesome.
We're going to have to do like a 4-series podcast on the Limp. I think when we do decide to do the Limp, it's going to be a 2-parter at least.
And one whole episode we'll be talking about the lady in the museum.
Yes.
We're going to have to edit this out because everybody's going to be like, no, I want to hear more about the lady in the museum. Just go there yourself and experience it. It's the only way to explain it.
For sure.
But
overnight for 2 days. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. Like this. Well, anyways.
We're editing that out anyways.
Hello?
Podcast bathroom. Testing.
That was just a test. Now let's begin.
What were we talking about?
And this is The Creatures of the Night.
Hello.
Can you do a radio voice?
I'm Chris. No, probably not. Hi, guys. This is Chris Duncan. And coming to you from the bathroom podcast is...
I really like that.
WWWZID.
I think my southern accent wouldn't allow me to do anything like that.
You just put some stank on it.
What if I did it like I was a morning show in Mobile, Alabama or something?
I'm sure that, well, I don't even know.
Good morning, guys. From Mobile, Alabama, here we are.
You're going to have to edit
play
that out.
Some Randy Travis this morning. Woo!
Ooh.
That didn't sound right
No,
at all.
no. I wish
You
you
know,
had
when I
said
lived
Travis
in
Tritt.
Memphis, people were. I love Travis Tritt. I
Do.
really do.
Play some TROUBLE. Thank you, ma'am.
You know, your Chicago roots like die.
I know. I'm telling you. That's why when people ask me where I'm from, I just say everywhere. It's easier.
Yeah, but then you're like leaving it all mysterious, and people think you're like a spy or something. You don't want to tell them.
I'm from everywhere, including your bedroom.
Underneath your bed. I'm a murderer. Speaking. Well, we'll get to that.
Wait a second. Are we supposed to be doing a podcast?
What? We were supposed to time how long we bullshit so that it didn't get ignoring. It didn't get annoying. Woo, glass 2 of wine.
It's only glass 2, and it's not even like a whole like legit
I could
glass.
fuck up my words on water. I mean, like, I don't do so well. Anyways, you want me to tell you a story?
I would love for you to tell me a story, Wendy.
Real quick, because we didn't finish the sentence. After Sedumsville, you went home and had appendicitis.
I did. I had appendicitis.
The end. That's all we were getting.
That's
at.
all you get today.
Yeah.
Episode coming later on.
Just in case I don't edit that out.
That would be an easy one for us to tell. We were there.
How much we hated everybody.
Done and done.
And
Episode
then at the
over.
end, we had an amazing experience.
Yes.
All by herself, ran
By
downstairs, told everybody about it.
And they were like, we're washing dishes, bitches. Get the fuck out.
we're packing up the fried chicken that you didn't eat.
That you didn't eat because we had salads. What were we talking about?
I think we were supposed to be doing a podcast. Okay. So what we're going to do is we've experienced one night of investigating at the Myrtles Plantation. So tonight I'm going to tell you the story as if you don't already know
I
it.
don't already know this story. So tell me
Stop
about the
lying
Myrtles.
to me.
I'm super intrigued.
I'm going to tell everyone else. I'm not talking to you anymore.
No, I'm here. So
This relationship is over with.
I'm still commenting.
I'm your ride home though.
This is true.
So you can't go anywhere.
Don't leave me.
You'll stay and just refill my wine glass.
I can do that.
So I'm going to tell you the story of the Myrtles Plantation, though I'm not going to tell you the story that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the Wikipedia story.
I'm about to leave. You're not going to tell me the story I fucking want to hear?
Mic drop
Why am I here?
and run out.
Hold on. This.
You can't go very far. No, I'm going to tell you the basic facts that are documented. And then, we'll sprinkle in like the story that they also tell.
Just give me the facts.
They tell a story during, we took the day tour today. So we got their version of the story, which is the entertaining like story that a lot of people love.
The day tour was not only is the story entertaining, but the lady dressing up in period costume.
So awesome. We never asked her name.
Oh,
we have a photograph of her.
She was beautiful, a lovely lady, and she did a fantastic
job.
Fantastic job.
It was such a good tour. Note to everybody out there too, if you're in this area, the Rosedown Plantation is also a really good tour.
Wow. Oh,
not super animated.
No,
definitely not.
All
talk
facts.
About ghosts.
She's serious, down to the point. Let me just give you the facts.
Down to the point. What?
Yes, get to the point.
But the furnishings and that building, I mean, that is a fucking King Cotton plantation style home.
Yeah, and they let you
fucking gorgeous.
They take you through the entire house with the exception of the slaves' staircase, but you get to see it. You still get to see a lot of the house, and the grounds themselves were just gorgeous. If you're in the area, you're staying at the Myrtles, take the fucking tour. It's like worth it.
5 minutes down the road, and it's worth every fucking penny. It's not even expensive.
It was $12.
But I mean, like,
unless you're a senior.
Don't stop in the gift shop. Not worth it.
No,
it's not a gift shop, anyways. It's not a real gift shop.
It's a bore shop. Isn't that? It's boring as fuck. Isn't it?
Like
it's something like
trinket.
That?
Shit shop.
It's shit shop. It's like things from.
I hate those trinket shit shops. You go in and it's really quiet and there's only one person and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" And you're like, "Fine, thanks, yeah."
She was watching her bid on eBay.
It's all this like preppy stuff, and you're like, "What is this garbage?"
It was weird shit.
I came in here for voodoo dolls and alligator feet, and you don't have any.
They didn't have anything like that. No, they don't have anything worthwhile for your ghost hunter or a history buff. Because they did have a few antiques, but they weren't worth even the look.
They had a few books too, but those antiques weren't worth shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
anything.
that's a good thing. Go to the Rose Down. If you find a ghost, then
Beautiful.
let's let everybody know, because it's got to be haunted.
We haven't looked through all of our pictures, and let me just
Right?
say we took a fuckload of pictures.
Fuckload of pictures, because it was so gorgeous.
Wendy was in the back, I was in the front, and we were tag teaming that bitch.
Sounds weird.
This is how we talk, and they're gonna have to get used to it. So
Yeah, okay. So the Myrtles Plantation, just the facts. The Myrtles Plantation was built in 1786 by General David Bradford, and he named it Laurel Grove. So it wasn't even the Myrtles Plantation yet. It was Laurel Grove, and he lived here for a few years by himself until President John Adams. Fun fact, my family, my mother's side of the family, thinks that they're related to John Adams.
no shit.
And John Quincy Adams, obviously, because they're both.
I was just gonna ask. Well, what about John Quincy Adams? That's so weird.
Well, since they're related as well.
I mean,
And
blowing my
True and
mind.
documented. But yeah, some Ancestry.com tried to say that
Really?
we're related.
Did
to
you do
them.
that, or your mom did it?
No, my an uncle or aunt or something did it. And I think that Ancestry.com just says, "Oh, your last name is Adams.
right.
Oh, I'm going to find the most famous person with that name and tell him that you are related to this Indian princess."
Wow.
You know, and
I
you're
love
like, "I'm so powerful and strong," and then it builds confidence, and that's great. But I don't buy it. I don't buy that bullshit.
It's an interesting story.
Well, whatever. So President John Adams pardoned him for his role in the Pennsylvania Whiskey Rebellion in 17.
Love that rebellion.
99.
It's one of my faves.
I love anything that starts with whiskey.
And ends with toilet.
You just gotta eat.
I meant rebellion.
You really
My
gotta
bad.
fill up on like bread and potatoes.
I can't.
You can handle that
Okay,
whiskey.
fine, potatoes.
Not bread.
Sure.
I know. You'll
Rebellion is what I meant.
Got it. He then moved. Then he moved his wife Elizabeth and their 5 children into the plantation after he got pardoned. So he's like, back in good faith and good standing with the government. So now
His wife was Elizabeth?
his respectable wife Elizabeth and her children can come live on Laurel Grove. Who the fuck is Laurel?
I don't even know why. I mean, is that a wood? Did they name it after something?
No way. I mean, I'm not like a botanist or anything.
Maybe it's Elizabeth's mom.
I hope it's his mom. That would be a little more like
why he named
unless
it that?
he just. I mean, like I think it'd be weird if he was like that and into his mother-in-law. But
First girlfriend, mistress.
that's what I'm talking about. Did Elizabeth not show up on the door and be like, Laurel Grove? Where the fuck did you get that from?
Right. Shouldn't
Brad.
that be
His
Elizabeth
name's not
Grove?
Brad. It's David. It's Bradford.
Well, it's always Brad's fucking fault. I mean,
She showed up and she's like, "Who's fucking Laurel?" And he's
yeah.
like,
Who is fucking Laurel?
Bitch, I bought you this whole property, like, and I was like a hero in the Whiskey Rebellion, and now I'm like a good guy, so shut the fuck up. And she was like, well, I don't have a lot of choices, so
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
Who knows who Laurel is? I hope it's his mom. Upon Bradford's death in 1808, his widow Elizabeth continued to run the plantation until 1817, when she handed the management over to Clark Woodruff. Daughter Sarah gets married to Clark, and he's a
love that
law
name.
student.
That's beautiful.
Who eventually becomes a judge.
Ooh.
And then they all live in the house, right? Sarah and Clark Woodruff.
Okay.
They have 3 children. Their names are Cornelia, James, and Mary Octavia.
That's
Cornelia
beautiful.
has a middle name too, but I like the name Octavia,
I
so I
like
just
it
wanted
too.
to share
Yeah,
that
let's
with
focus
you.
on
So
that one.
Mary Octavia sounds so cool. Anyways, Sarah and her 2 children, 2 of the 3, died in 1823 and 1824. You hear me say 2 different years?
Yeah.
Remember that for later.
I
Now,
won't.
there are records that show they died in these 2 years of yellow fever. You took the tour with me, so you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
When Elizabeth Bradford died, oh, that's the original. Yeah, sorry. The original wife of the property. When she died I was like, who the fuck is she? I already forgot my own story. When she died in 1831, Clark Woodruff, who's Judge Clark Woodruff at this point, and his surviving daughter, Mary Octavia, my favorite. That's mean. Sorry. Especially since the other ones are probably here in like spirit. Oh my God. I'm
shit.
so sorry. I was just joking.
Well, I'm not talking to you tonight because I wasn't your favorite.
I can only laugh. I don't know how to make that up to them. We have a bear and a doll for you. Anyways, they moved to Covington, Louisiana, and they left a caretaker in charge of the plantation. In 1834, Woodruff sold the plantation and its slaves to Ruffian Gray Sterling. So,
I remember that name.
Is his first name Ruffian Gray, or is it just Ruffian?
I would prefer to think of it as Ruffian Gray because that is so majestic for a first name. It is.
I agree. And I like this double name thing. It happens a whole lot because his wife is Mary Catherine Cobb, obviously Sterling. For some reason, my piece of paper doesn't say that. So the Sterling wife, she's like super highbrow. She wants it fancy as fucking.
I love her.
So she extends the house. She's got to make it bigger, which I totally agree with. So she had it remodeled, and then she started buying all this fancy furniture that's imported from like Europe and stuff. And we learned today on the tour that a lot of the things that she did, like wanting things to look marble and like to look like different kinds of wood, was actually just like Pinterest activities. She brought in painters. They said they brought in painters from like Europe.
Yep.
But had them do fancy painting jobs to make it look like marble.
Yeah.
Or to make it look like it's mahogany or something like that, opposed to
and it was all the cypress wood, which we learned today.
Which is like, that's cheap shit.
It
I
is.
don't want that.
And it's all throughout the house, which is why
cheap
every floorboard you step on creaks so loudly. We learned that when we went to the other plantation that lady was like, check out the amazing craftsmanship on these stairs. They used blah, blah wood instead of cypress because they do not creak one bit. And all of us trampled up those stairs and I was landing on them kind of heavy. They didn't squeak at all.
Nope, they sure as fucking didn't.
Right.
But this place was kind of faux fancy.
It was amazing faux fancy. Like, seriously, she was Pinterest queen before Pinterest. And, like, it reminds me so much of myself and Wendy because we try. We want to do.
Handy, yeah.
It was so. Exactly. She's like, you know what? I can't. Look, I'm rich, but I ain't going to spend all my money on importing this shit. Let's just make it look like marble. And you can't tell. Seriously, you were looking at that when she said, when our tour guide said they used turkey feathers to make that marble swirl.
Yeah.
I'm mental note. I'm going to make some marble swirls at my house too.
100%. And I mean, I just love that she was like, I want fancy shit, but I know my budget too.
Right.
So
she was a smart gal.
Instead of paying for the marble, I'm going to pay for a fucking painter to come over here that knows what he's doing.
Yep.
The end. And so she was fancy as hell.
And she got it how she wanted it then.
Yeah, and it is beautiful. A lot of the stuff looks almost like the same stuff we saw in the Rosedown house, and without you telling us this is wood,
wouldn't have known,
or that stone. Well, you're not allowed to touch anything either.
True,
so
that
it makes it hard to distinguish when they're like, "Don't touch it."
Signs everywhere. Keep hands off.
Your oily hands will destroy everything, even giant trees that are dead already.
Yep. Can't touch those either.
Where was I? So she filled the house with European furniture, and then we just talked extensively about all the artwork that she did on the wood and whatnot to make it fancy. And then this says that the Sterling family is the one that changed the name to the Myrtles, which I almost believe because they reformed the whole building.
Right.
They made it bigger. They changed the name. So there's another story that says that Woodruff, the judge, changed the name in honor of his wife and children that had passed away.
Okay, well, that's the one I heard today, and I didn't know that story.
Before I leave and sell this house, I'm going to change it to the Myrtles because Sarah, that's his wife, Sarah Woodruff, she really loved the crepe myrtles, and so I'm going to change it to the Myrtles plantation. This says that the Sterlings changed it to the Myrtles because of the crepe myrtles that were around. They were probably like, who the fuck is Laurel? I feel like Mary Catherine was like game for making this her own.
Sure.
So I almost believe that story.
I believe that
more.
Too. I like her. I feel that story.
I feel like, especially as we talk a little bit more later about Judge Clark Woodruff, I don't feel like he gave a shit about what the name was before he left.
It was just a house, right? It was just his place.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that later when we get to the spirits and shit. So anyway, Sterling, she died. Or no, Sterling, he died. He died in 1854. The husband, there was a husband, and left everything to his wife.
Beautiful.
Cool. She was taking it over anyways.
Yep.
I'm not sure what he was doing. Just like he must have really loved her. He was like, do whatever you want. The Myrtles survived the Civil War. Which we found this cool thing out. Somebody says, which I have to believe because it does still exist, that there's a whole bunch of wrought iron work outside.
Oh, yeah, I love this story.
During the Civil War, they removed all the wrought iron and then hid it down in the, how do you say it? Help me out.
Cistern.
I was going to mess that up. They hid them down in there. The slaves apparently did that for everybody.
Amazing. What a cool story. They picked it up.
Pull them back out and put it back on.
Every night. They pulled it off. Right? And then they dropped it down there?
No, they dropped it down there and they waited out the war and then they pulled them up and were like, haha, just joking. We told you somebody else stole it.
Right, that's the thing. I love the visual, how the tour guide was like, somebody rolled up to steal that shit and they were like, oh, man, shit's gone.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, I guess somebody beat us to it. And they rode off on their horse.
Yeah, the slaves were like, yeah, somebody came through and got that shit already.
Could you imagine like the Miss and Mister like looking out the windows?
And then as soon as the Civil War was over, I don't think it was as soon as anyways, but they popped that shit back out and they were like, look at us, fancy as fuck, got our ironwork.
That's right.
Some of the stuff she bought, wasn't faux,
That's right.
So she had to hold on to that. So apparently it's one of the only plantations that still have this wrought iron work.
Right, which is a big deal out here.
Yes. So they were robbed of some of their furnishings and expensive accessories, but not the wrought iron that we talked about. In 1865, Mary Sterling hired William Drew Winter, who helped manage the plantation, and he was also a lawyer as well. So he helped her with legal documents and whatnot. And then he married her daughter, whose also name is Sarah. So not to be confused with what?
Sterling?
No, Sarah Woodruff. It was Woodruff.
Oh, right.
So it's Woodruff, then Sterling. Now we're on Winter. And this is Sarah Winter. She's got an H at the end of it.
I really like that name.
Sarah?
Sarah Winter. Like the whole thing. It sounds like a writer's name. It's pretty.
Yeah, it kind of does. They went on to have 6 children.
Jeez.
One of them was named Kate Winter. And I guess she was the only one, which is surprising back in that day.
Yeah,
she was the only child that passed away.
Aww.
So with 6 children, they had one that passed away, Kate, and this says she passed away of typhoid.
Yeah.
Though I feel like on our tour they said
yellow
something
fever.
else. Yeah. Or scarlet fever or something like that.
I thought it was all yellow fever.
It says she was 3.
I thought on the tour they said there were 3 of the children that died.
This says just
Sarah.
It only talks about the
just
one.
The one. Okay.
And the family fortune was like kind of messed up after the war. They weren't doing all that well because they had tied up all their money in Confederate money, and that didn't go well, as we all know. And the Winters were forced to sell, but then they bought back their property. So I imagine they sold to like some Yankees, but stayed in the house. They probably were renting it from them and actually never left, and then ended up paying them back like a mortgage back then.
Right.
But so they had some tough times, and then I guess they were doing all right. They got their property back in 1871, but then somebody rolls up and just fucking shoots William Winter.
Yeah.
Like on his own damn porch. He comes out and he's like, "Hey man, what do you need?"
Yep.
And because he's a lawyer and stuff, and he's like, "Can I help you?" I imagine he didn't have much of an office out here in the sticks. Then this guy's like, "Bing bing."
I love the story. Well,
pew
pew pew. I love that. The dude allegedly rolled up looking for a lawyer and was like, "Gentleman here needs a lawyer," like yelling out from his horse and carriage, or just maybe a horse.
So William, who's been tough on times, is probably like
hell to the
about any business.
This just rolled up in my neighbor. Yeah.
Let me get my fucking tie on.
Probably got his glasses all straightened up and shit.
How can I help you, sir?
Right.
And
boom.
Then he's like, boom.
Wait, no, he's pew pew.
What a terrible noise. Anyway, somebody thinks that this guy's name was E.S. Weber. I imagine it was somebody in town that somebody was like, E.S. Weber, he's awful fucking shady.
That dude needed a lawyer.
The most of the evidence that they have.
I could see E.S. Weber shooting up a lawyer. Just
I heard he was a crazy motherfucker. So Sarah with an H, Winters, remained at the Myrtles with her mother and siblings.
Wow, she just moved her family
into the house.
She
Were
felt
they
lonely.
there the whole time?
I did not hear that
6
story.
Children, remember?
Yes, yeah.
So she just moved them. Everybody came flooding back in as soon as William was gone.
At that time, how much of the house was there? Because where we are, there's
the
only...
whole thing.
The whole thing was there.
Because the Sterlings had added it. It was a big
She had
fucking
6
house.
kids,
So
and
she
now
had
her
room.
siblings and her mom moved in?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming...
I imagine not all of her siblings.
They must have had beds like in a living room or something, because there's not enough rooms for all that mess.
I don't think it was all her siblings.
I mean, the room across the hall, maybe it had 2 beds.
Yeah, you could definitely get 2 beds.
That place.
2 or 3 beds.
That room is tight. What a nice room with the clawfoot bathtub and everything.
Oh, yeah. And that's only like a full-size bed in there.
That's right. It's a full.
You know that bathroom wasn't there before, though, so that might make a little more room.
So it was just a room.
This house oddly has like huge walk-in closets.
Which they...
And it's like, what's that about?
They put their siblings in those closets. Come on, Wendy. Where would you put... No. Okay, you can edit this out. If you had to move Stephanie into this house, where would you put her?
I would not put her in a closet because she'd be a monster in there. And we're not going to edit it out. Because I can 100% tell you. She'd be like, it's fucking hot. It's dark. I'm not dealing with this. She'd stomp around. I mean, like, she'd throw the biggest fit. I'm the younger sibling. You understand? So guilt plays a lot into our like reactions to things.
It's just so I don't have any siblings, but it's just funny hearing that this story.
Lucky.
So I have to know from a person who has a sibling, their point of view, if you had to move your sister in.
No. Well, if the roles were reversed and it was an older to a younger, I mean, they'd probably be like, fuck you. But no, younger to older, you're like, oh my God, can't fucking take this. I thought I wanted revenge. Never mind.
Never mind.
Who am I going to talk to?
Oh, no.
So you let them out and they make your life hell. No, I'm just playing.
No closet. You get a real bed. Jesus.
Yeah, then they take over the entire bed and you sleep on the floor. That's how the manipulation works.
These beds here are huge. I hope you're not falling out of the bed. I hope you're like actually sleeping on the floor, because if you fall from that height,
dangerous. That's why last night, let's admit to them, we put like we were babies. We put not blankets,
yes, like crib. You put the
we put pillows on either side.
Yeah.
Not that people should do that with their babies. Don't do that. Like put your baby in a crib, but yeah, pillows do keep them from rolling off too.
My pillows
depends on how old they are.
Right. But they
actually don't listen to me. Okay?
No. Well, what would you call it? Well, anyways,
we had pillows on either side of us
because we were worried that we were going to fall to our deaths.
We were
I woke up
that were worried about
my pillows were on the floor and Wendy was hugging me. No, no, that's not true. But I was like, why the fuck are my pillows on the floor? I was like, whatever, I'm going back to sleep.
It was cold.
It was fucking cold. And our blankets kind of suck. They're not like plush blankets. I'm used to plush blankets.
I thought they were pretty nice, but I was like, it is fucking freezing in this room all of a sudden.
Yeah, I had cold sweats last night too. You know, when you're so cold that you're sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
No, I'm totally with you. That was weird.
Yeah.
So Sarah was in the house with her whole family. Then she died. Aww. And Mary Sterling, she's still alive, remember? She's still kicking. She's probably running this show the whole time. She died in 1880, and she passed the plantation on to her son, Stephen. Yeah, we don't know much about Stephen, but the plantation was in pretty bad debt, so Stephen sold the house about 6 years later in 1886, and then it turned to another owner in 1889, and then the plantation changed hands quite a few times until 1891 when Harrison Milton Williams purchased the property. And in the early part of the 20th century, he landed the land that surrounded the house was divided among his heirs when he passed away.
Okay. So
he owned it for quite some time after that, and then when he passed away, all his heirs got it. And then in the 1950s, the house itself was sold to Marjorie Munson.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yeah. You know Marjorie?
What year was this?
It's in the 1950s.
Ha! No, the
Is she part of
the story I read last night. The woman that ended up just going crazy and ended up finding some guy and killing him. I think he was Jeff Munson. I believe that was his name.
Ooh.
I think I threw the story out. And I don't have it at hand, but
because that was a New Orleans story too, or a Louisiana story too. So they could have most definitely been family.
Yeah.
Well, she had the house, and
that's why I had to do that story. The ties. I bet
you're so like your psychic abilities told you.
I'm just making that shit up, but it does. It's weird possibilities.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
but Munson doesn't seem like an incredibly popular name.
It sounds like it was the same name.
I'd have to Google to know. Sure.
Yeah,
they tell you everything. So apparently she started noticing like odd happenings in the house. Ooh. And she was like, this fucking place might be haunted.
Wow.
So she was the first one that kind of started in the 1950s. Marjorie was the first one that was like, something's up with this place.
Was that the spiritualism kind of era? I don't know when that started.
So I think that spiritualism has gone in and out.
Yeah.
definitely do believe that there was a fascination with it around this time frame.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But so I think the 50s, it was like, World War II had ended. I know years before that. I'm not an idiot. No. I do know when it started, just before anybody.
I wasn't going to correct
you. Fucking dummy. That wasn't in the 50s.
Okay.
I know that. Anyways, but it ended, and I'm sure everybody felt a lot of relief from that. And then, you have that kind of like, so.
Well, a lot of people lost people during that time frame too, and they wanted to have a connection still with their loved ones.
Yes. So there was this whole like kind of healing from that experience.
Yeah.
And, and then, like I said, the 60s and the 70s happened, and, like, the world just went to shit with music. Not went to shit, great music. You know what I mean?
Right. But it was a completely different time frame.
With that instead.
Right. And thank God they
Before
did.
Before music sucked.
We had some good musicians come out of that time frame.
Right.
Great.
Where were we? So she realized rock and roll. She thinks that there's some ghosts. I really do love music. I love 60s and 70s music.
No, I do. I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you.
I think that just took their distraction off of it is what I'm like. They're like, I could hunt ghosts, or I could just play this record for a really long time and I'd dance around. You know what? I just discovered I can shake my hips and show my ankles off.
Finally,
today
my
was a
ankles
big deal about
are
ankles.
Free. Look,
they were actually showing ankles way before that.
The petticoat mirrors, that shit freaks me out. Look, I get that was a big deal back then, but can you imagine being in that time frame and be like, oh, my ankles, they have to be completely
I feel like my ankles are pretty fucking ugly.
The only time my ankles are covered,
your feet are not very attractive.
This is in the winter when I don't shave that shit. Any other time, it's
that's
open.
Right.
So
they had to have shaved their legs back then.
But I bet they weren't. So it makes more sense to me to think that they weren't shaving for them to be like, ankles must be covered.
So you can't see how disgusting I am,
right, exactly.
Basically.
Right.
It wasn't, I'm so sexy and alluring with my ankles.
We're in a different time frame.
It was like, I don't shave my armpits or legs.
That was what I was about to say. Anything goes at this day and age. Women don't shave their armpits anymore. It's fine. That's just how it is.
I mean, I think it's to each his own. I get what you're saying. You're trying to keep it neutral so we don't offend anybody with hairy legs.
I'm saying to each. Okay, to each is his own. But at the same time, there was no mirror that said, "This is the armpit mirror," and if you have a hair, but
there was no way that they were showing off their armpits back then.
No, they had 5,000 layers of clothing because they couldn't stink in front of people.
No, but like you could.
Humans couldn't be human.
Stockings on.
Humans could not be human back then, and it's so frustrating to me. This whole petticoat mirror thing.
I'm sorry. I think you meant women couldn't be humans.
That's exactly what I meant. Women could not be humans. Right. You're right. Because men could be men. They could spit, and that's another good point.
Yeah.
I have a lot of arguments about this time frame. I do love the dress. I do love the antiques.
Fancy fucking houses.
I do love the fancy fucking houses and the architecture. I love all of it. It's just the way of life has improved so much for so many, and yet it still remains a backseat for so many others.
Anyway, This is not a political podcast.
Nope.
Because we don't have enough knowledge or attention span for that.
Don't exactly.
Nope. We can only talk about exciting things like ghosts. So she started seeing some ghosts, and we're like, "Thanks, Marjorie. That is fucking awesome,
Marjorie."
And the plantation went through several more ownerships, changing in the 1970s before being bought by James and Frances. Myers, who ran the plantation home as a B&B, a bed and breakfast. During this time, Frances Myers, she wrote a book about how the plantation was haunted, how the Myrtles plantation was
you
haunted.
think it's in the gift shop? Maybe I should get that.
And she 100% went ahead and named it the most haunted house in America herself.
She just, okay.
In her book.
Fine.
So
I'm not going to argue that.
The current owners, John and Tina Moss, continue to open the house for tours and overnight guests. Obviously, that's why we're sitting here. And this house has been listed on the National Registration of Historic Places.
Well, hang on a second before you go any further. Going back to the self-proclaimed most haunted place in what, the U.S., the state? What was
America?
She said that, okay, and it probably was to her because I'm sure she's not exploring other locations that are haunted, right?
No, we can't go back thousands of years.
No,
okay?
that's not what I mean. It's interesting to me that somebody said, my house is crazy haunted. It's the most haunted place. And I read a book
she
about
just
it.
Established it.
Right. I've got shit going on in my townhome. Should I just be like, the most haunted townhome? I mean,
what's an opinion? I mean, like,
yeah,
how do you justify what is the most haunted? I want a fucking TV show about that.
Well,
like, you know how they have those clap-o-meters? You have to have like a haunted meter, but not an actual meter. So
right.
It's like, if this happens and that happens and this happens, then this is your most haunted place.
Right.
So like, if you see poltergeist activity, like shit moving around, that's a fucking level 10 right there.
I would
but
think
you hear like a voice.
You can't. People, for it to be listed as the most haunted place anywhere, anytime, it has to be a regular person coming into the house that can see a spirit anytime. Anytime, I'm serious. Because if you live here, you are here every single day. You're going to pick up on those things. You're going to see those things. And she did.
We talk about that stuff all the time, though, about how, like, in the past, there used to be stories, or like mediums. Mediums can just walk in and be like, there's a ghost over there. But we're like, where?
You don't see. That's what I'm saying.
Click, click, click. Picture.
That's what I'm saying.
Eyeballs wide open. And it's like, do I have to take my glasses off to see this happen or something like that? I don't get it.
No, you don't. You shouldn't have to have a special gift.
Apparition, and I have seen an apparition.
And that's what I would call the most haunted place I've ever been to. Anything that
I'm telling you,
I have seen
the fucking house that I grew up in, it terrified the fuck out of me.
Right. And they didn't have a gift shop. Or do they?
They totally should. If I ever win the lottery, that is next on my list.
To buy a haunted place?
There's going to be a random house in Nutbush, Tennessee that has a gift shop in the front. And it's like, this is
Rando house gift shop. And it has a book about it, right?
Fuck yeah,
of course.
I can knock that
Most
out.
haunted house in Nutbush.
I copied and pasted this story. I'm sure I can.
I gotta say, it's gonna be a tough one to say the most haunted house in Nutbush is that house, because it is Nutbush of all places.
No.
There's gotta be some more shit going on in that area.
Don't kill my story here.
I won't.
If I write the book first, then
that's right.
I got it.
You got it.
And that's basically what she did.
That's right.
She was the first one out there to be like,
that's what made
most
it
haunted house in America.
Okay.
So it became a nickname more than it is an actual true statement. Since it is a statement, like you could say, this is the best burgers in the world, but maybe you and me like different kind of burgers. Burglars?
I love different. I have
different kinds of burglars that I like
specific
too.
type
I like
of
the
burglars.
ones that don't enter your fucking house.
I like the ones that wear the black and white stripes. They're fun.
Where they're like cartoony. I'm down for that too, but not actually. I
don't like the Hamburglar. He was my favorite.
I miss those. Why don't they make those McDonald's commercials?
But the Playlands are gone too. No more Grimace. No more Hamburglar.
This is a sad time.
The fuck.
You chipped your nail. Sorry. Do we have to stop? Is it an emergency?
I have to pee.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm gonna cry on the toilet.
Do it on the recording.
Just no. Well, how would that be any different from when we're ghost hunting? Because seriously, I leave that recorder on.
I've recorded yourself being like, same
I
here.
hate listening to that because I'm like, ew.
You're like, but you can't skip ahead because you're like, what if a ghost was in there?
What if someone wanted to talk to me?
A pervy ghost was looking underneath the stall there.
Don't forget to wash your hands. What?
That's a nice reminder, though. So it's been in books and magazines and newspapers, and it's been on several television shows. The plantation is supposedly the home to at least 12 ghosts. So somebody thinks that 10 murders have happened in here, and when you factor in the abuse that could have happened on the property,
that does
also during the Civil War, it's very possible that these other murders have happened and were not documented. And so after William Winter was shot, though, they got details about his murder as a thing, and they don't about anybody else's. So he was shot on the porch. We talked about this earlier. Somebody like kind of tricked him out of the house. He comes out trying to be helpful.
Weber, E.S. Weber did it.
We're just convicting him.
We should try and communicate with him. I wonder, well, his spirit isn't here.
No, man. He rode up and rode off. Horse by.
It was a horse by.
It's a horse by.
I love that.
For sure. So William Winter gets shot, and then he crawls back into the house looking for help and looking for his family, and, you know, just so he won't die alone, which is, you know, very sad too.
It is sad.
But apparently he tries to get up the stairs, and he keeps calling for his wife, and then he dies on the 17th step of the main staircase of the house. And Sarah apparently had reached the stairs at that point, and he died in her arms.
That's such a sad story. Yeah.
What
if he died and she then went to him because she was busy with that creepy curling iron that they had back then at the time. She couldn't let it go.
A wand, though. It was such a clever idea.
It was the wand of the time. You're right. The curling wand. But she's in there doing her hair, and she's humming some symphony kind of music, and she hears her husband calling. She's like, God fucking shit. He always wants
curl
me
my hair
at the worst possible times. So she hears him. She don't know what the hell's happening. So she finishes her curl. She goes out there, and he's already dead. But it's like step number 2, and she instead invents this whole story to make it very romantic.
Make it seem like it was very loving and stuff. And really, she was like,
because she felt like shit. She was like, I'm sure fucking wasted all that time on my fucking curl, and now I can't even show it off because my man is dead.
Aww.
I'm just wondering.
All around, either way.
I'm just wondering, because stories like this that are that detailed, that have made it through time and time again, like, who told that shit? She was just like,
she wrote it in her diary.
Yes. Have you ever seen Gone Girl?
Sarah did do
that bitch wrote a bunch of shit in her diary. I'm just saying.
The greatest book ever, yeah. It's not really the greatest book ever, but
it's a good one, though.
It is. It was pretty. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's a big story, and people feel like they hear footsteps. William Winter's footsteps on the stairs, and then people that work here have reported that they hear moaning in that area
where he was dying.
Right.
And I don't know, I hope you're not about to say this, but when we were on the tour today, it said that, or she said that a lot of people that are, you know, they booked that room, that it sounds like a drunk person is stumbling up the stairs, and that I could actually be him, like trying to.
Oh, imagine, because he's not walking up the stairs.
No, but he's
shot.
Like,
he was dragging himself up the stairs,
trying to live,
whole body was going up there.
Yeah.
There's also people have reported that in the bedroom at the top of those stairs, which is like the biggest suite here, that they just get a huge or overwhelming sense of sadness in that room. So I know Sarah felt really guilty about curling her hair instead of coming to her husband's aid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I bet
they should have had that cotton money and had the doctor on premises like the Rosedown property did.
She couldn't have carried him.
No, but the doctor could have come.
Yeah, Rosedown had them bells.
She could have kept
too.
curling her hair. I mean, he would have just came.
He's gonna be fine. I'll just finish up the curling wand. That she had to heat up over the fucking fireplace.
I totally thought that was a curling iron, by the way. So when we were at the Rosedown, when we were at the Rosedown plantation, they had like some artifacts, I guess, on a vanity in one of the rooms, and it was stuff that ladies use. And there was this thing that looked like you use it to pop like a lady's water or something.
I had no idea. Right, exactly.
Marshmallows on it or something like that. And I was like, I think it's a freaking curling iron. For some reason, I thought that that's what it was. And then I was like, I pray to God she don't come over and tell us it's something that went up their vaginas.
Right. That's Wendy's like, look at that. I was like, that looks painful.
I'm like, please be a fucking curling iron. Because I don't want to
really
hear about that.
I don't really want to know that story.
No, I don't want to hear that one right now. I'm hungry and I had to pee and stuff like that. I just feel like it would have made everything feel worse. Like if I sympathized with that.
And on that note, lady, we have to go. I can't listen to any more of this shit.
So the employees feel like they hear this stuff too from William Winter in that area, and then, but the most popular ghost of the Myrtles is Chloe, so there's no documented history that there was ever a slave by the name of Chloe.
Oh.
Or
what?
Cleo,
well, okay.
Which we established that we'll tell Cleo's story in a second, but that we don't think that she was their slave. But Chloe's a big deal, and there's no documentation of that. Which fuck.
I mean, they might.
Somebody's a bad record keeper. That's all.
That
doesn't mean shit. That they didn't have that written down.
Okay, but for real.
But how we were saying the other day about, what if we're sometimes calling these spirits by the wrong names?
Right.
Like everybody's assuming, oh, it's this person because I heard they died here. Like everybody's like, it's William Winter. What name were we getting last night? Robert.
We were getting Robert.
Have you heard of Robert in this story?
No.
Nope. No fucking Robert. Who's Robert?
Who is Robert?
We got that name from the girl who feels like she has
some kind of a spiritual connection with certain areas.
She threw that name out, and you were like, "Who's Robert again?" She was saying something about Robert. Let's ask if Robert's here.
Yeah,
and we were getting answers and responses to say yes, Robert was here, along with some other spirit we didn't get the name of.
Right.
So Chloe's a big time ghost around here, but there's no documentation of her. No big deal. We already established that even the murders. It even makes sense to why certain murders wouldn't be documented.
Right.
So, Chloe, here's her story. Chloe was a slave that either was really Judge Clark Woodruff, or the very much more possible story is that she was forced into a relationship with him.
Sure.
A dirty relationship.
Sounds like it, yeah.
So he was like, man, you are fine. I'm going to move you to the house, and you're going to be my mistress, and then you just have a cushy fucking job walking around doing, I don't know, whatever you want. Hang out with the children. Go do what you want. I just want to look at your fine ass.
Right.
But Chloe was like, she wasn't necessarily a troublemaker. Well, I mean, she was, but I feel like it'd be like some shit we would be pulling. She's being forced into this relationship with this old ass motherfucker, and his wife's right there.
That's
who was a young chick, by the way.
Wow, yeah.
She was already like a 16-year-old bride or something.
Oh man,
remember that's the one she was super young. She had these cute little adorable babies. He had this like life. He didn't have to be so fucking greedy and want more.
Right.
But of course he did.
Right. It's his fault.
Oh, 100%. So Chloe's like, well, if I'm going to be in this house and I don't have to actually do any work, like kitchen work and whatnot and stuff, I just hang out with these little kids all day. I'm fucking bored. I want to know what's the gossip. Maybe I wondered today when she was telling the story, I wonder if Chloe was like, I'm going to be a fucking spy.
I love her.
Yeah. Because she was eavesdropping on like his conversations with other men, like in the men's parlor.
Yeah, she wanted to know what the fuck they were gossiping about.
She wants to know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
When am I going to get freed from this shit?
It might have affected her friends or herself. Exactly.
When can we, like rebel? Like the whole farm can rebel.
Right.
She was like, in my mind,
trying to be the informant.
I'm giving her whole, she's the fucking informant for everybody else.
She's
like, I'll go in this disgusting relationship and go inside the house, and I'm gonna figure it all out. I'm gonna figure out when we can get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And they're like, cool, Chloe, thanks. Or some people are like, that bitch is crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was really not smart.
That's dangerous.
It was very dangerous.
But she was really bad at it, kind of, is what they say. And that she was getting caught all the time, eavesdropping on conversation.
And that's the insane part, because I would like to go back to the fact that these cypress floorboards are creaky as fuck. And if she's like listening to the doors, you can tell when someone's walking.
Chloe was probably like, I'm like a fucking ninja.
I know. She really thought she was.
Like how we creep around and then all
but
of a
we are
sudden it's
ninjas.
like, boom.
Nope. We're ninjas with our
sl-
stealth. We don't bump into
We
things
slam
or
doors,
trip.
we drop stuff, we throw our batteries in trash cans and it's so fucking loud.
Clank, clank,
and
clank.
It's like, and it's 2:00 in the morning and we're like,
I acrobat off of the bed. The 9-foot bed.
That was so funny. This morning, I just wake up to watching Chris Harmy roll off the bed. And I'm like, are you okay? And she's like crouched down side of the bed. And she's like, yeah. It's like, okay.
Because I was trying to be
I'm going to go
super
back
quiet.
to sleep then.
And nobody was supposed to hear or see me.
Well, nobody else did. But I did. Anyways.
Wendy was like, the fuck you doing?
So Sarah probably might have guessed what was going on here.
Yeah.
Chloe's probably she's this fine young lady in the house. Clark seems to be way into her. Clark Woodruff, the judge, and Sarah's like,
Not interested in this.
she don't do too much but hang out with the kids, and she's always in the way, and you're like okay with it. So Sarah's not digging it, and she starts pointing out, Chloe's like fucking eavesdropping all the time. So one story says that it's possible that Sarah was the one that was like, Chloe was eavesdropping on me, cut her ear off. That was the punishment. And then, of course, the story we heard today is that Chloe, I like better because it makes her sound like an informant.
Right.
She was eavesdropping on Clark Woodruff's and his conversation with like all his buddies in his men's parlor.
Right, right.
And it's like she's trying to collect information.
Yeah, she was.
And somebody opened the door and she got caught off guard and rolled into the room.
Right. Wait, she like army rolled. But you're right, because you might have already known this. I just learned this today. But they would close off that room so that they could have their whiskey and talk politics, because it was rude to speak that in front of women. She wanted to fucking know the politics.
Fuck yeah. So she, I don't know, like what, I don't think they give like a year of when this might have happened to Chloe versus to like, the Civil War and things changing and stuff like
what was
that.
the time frame?
And the Union government was putting a huge pressure on the Confederate government. And so maybe, I imagine there were a lot of slaves that were like, man, maybe we only got like a little bit left of this and stuff.
You think we should have bought that money so we could have used it for trigger objects?
Sure. Fuck. Sure. Probably could have drew it on a piece of paper too, because that's about how much it's worth.
Well, then I can still do that.
So there's Confederate dollars in the gift stores, which she's talking about, and they were intriguing, but there were Nerf. There were Nerfs in there. There were none in there from Tennessee, and because they were like the first ones to nope out of it.
Yep.
I don't think they were the exact first, but
I love that phrase. They were like, Tennessee said.
And being a Tennessee girl, I was like, I don't need fucking papers with Arkansas and Georgia on them.
Right, exactly. Where's the Tennessee ones? Oh.
They didn't even print those dollars.
Nope.
Anyways, so Chloe got caught and they cut her ear off. So the story has it is she started wearing like a turban around her head so that she can cover her ear as well. I imagine partly at first as a dressing, and then later like she was embarrassed by it. Yeah. They were mad at Chloe and they were like, bitch, you're not in the house anymore.
Who was?
Everybody. Well, I bet Clark, being a man, he was probably like, I'd still do her with one ear.
She's still beautiful on the other side. So what?
Yeah, I'll just look at her the other way. But Sarah was like, nah, bitch. You go take your ass out to. Remember, Sarah's young, so Sarah Woodruff was young, so she's probably like spicy as fuck, and she's like, put her ass back out, and she got to go out to the kitchen. The kitchen's like mile from the fucking house and awful, and Chloe's like, this shit sucks.
Right.
I liked being an informant.
I like being in 4 minutes.
Too, so, not very good at it, but so story has it that Chloe was like, how can I get back in the house? I know what I'll do. The kids, 2 little kids, their birthdays are coming up.
Yes.
Shit. Aww. What's her name? James, I know his little boy. And then little girl she had a cool name too. I know I liked Mary. or what? Fuck, never mind.
I don't remember their names.
Mary Octavia. Mary Octavia is
was
the one that survived, but
Okay.
Cornelia.
Cornelia.
I like that
Yeah.
too. Very fancy. Cornelia and James, their birthdays are close together. So Chloe was like, she loved those fucking kids. So she was like, I know what I'll do.
Because she was used to being around them and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I know what I'll do. I'll bake them a fucking cake, but I'm going to put a little shit in it to make them sick. Like some X-Lax, you know, like something that just makes them a little sick. And then how I used to make them look little tonics and stuff when their tummy hurt.
Chloe, what the absolute fuck?
You know, have you ever heard of that? What's it called? That syndrome where you make somebody sick just so you can like heal them, or you do it for attention and stuff.
Yes,
We're not-
I've heard heard
heard of
podcasts. I've heard the stories. Those mothers are fucking crazy.
I don't remember what it's called, but like you intentionally make someone sick so that
It's
you
some
can
kind of psychosis.
care for them.
Yeah,
And then you're like a hero.
But
or
you're continuously-
vice versa. You're getting
you get the sympathy.
from other people
Yep, yep,
because look at me, I'm I have this hardship
Yes.
in my life, but it's actually somebody else's hardship.
Yep.
So Chloe's got a little bit of that problem.
That's what she did. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, but I mean, she was like a chronic user of it. She was like, I'm gonna bake this one cake and put some X-Lax in it, and they're gonna get a little sick, and I'm gonna give them my best tonic, and then
They're gonna put me back in the house.
everybody's gonna love me.
They're gonna be like,
the
she
kids
took
are gonna be
care-
like, I need my Chloe back.
Oh,
She's the best,
Chloe,
and I bet Clark
no.
still has the hots for me. Not that Chloe was into it. I'm just saying
She wanted to
she's
be back
like-
in the house.
She wanted to do her part for her people and be an informant. We don't know that that's what she was really doing.
No,
She could have just been a nosy bitch.
Didn't know what the fuck she was doing either.
No, man, but she didn't want to work in the kitchen anymore. So she was like, I'm going to bake this cake and I'm going to put this shit in it.
Right.
And yeah, like we just said, Chloe don't know what the fuck she's doing. She put, oh, fuck. You going to help me?
Is it oleander?
Oleander.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Earlier I said it just fine.
Yes, you did.
Oleander leaves, she put a whole bunch of those fucking shits in there.
Right.
Like 16 leaves is what the lady said today. This doesn't say.
She just grabbed a whole handful, or did she like pick out 16? Like, what do you think she
I think she was like, I heard these make you sick. I'm going to put some of these in the cake. Wonder how much I need versus the amount of cake, blah, blah, blah. She's trying to do math, and that's hard for me. And so I can see where she's like, you know.
That's when she should have realized this was a whole bad idea.
But she was like, I got to go. I got to get out of this kitchen.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm sure it'll be fine. I got it.
This sucks.
Don't you ever experiment with baking and then you're like, oh, that
I
didn't work
used
out.
to,
Like,
and I don't
especially
anymore.
when you run out of an ingredient. And
I
you're
used
like,
to. Mm-hmm.
You know, this
Then I'll
is,
just try this instead. But now I have Pinterest, so
like-
I don't have to experiment anymore.
you're like, this is kind of like this, so this should work. And then you make it and you're like, that did not work.
Why does this taste like paper? Why didn't it fluff up when it baked?
Why is everything sticking together? And
Why
it's like
is-
paste.
Why is my oven on fire?
Throw that away. Whole pan and all.
Oh, damn.
Anyways, poor Chloe. She should have threw her cake away, but she did not. She
Yeah.
did not know. She fed it to them. Only 2 of the children ate it, along with Sarah, the mother. Judge Clark Woodruff was out of town. Sarah and the 2 daughters ate the cake, and that's not correct. The daughter and the son.
Right. James.
Yeah. James and Cornelia, they died from the poison in the cake. Mary Octavia was younger. She didn't have any cakes. She was fine.
Oh, I thought she like said nope to that
No,
shit.
I think they were just like gobble, gobble, gobble.
Yeah.
Mary's taking a nap. Like, we'll save her some for later, but then there was never a later.
Damn.
So the whole family was in an uproar, or the whole household, because Judge Clark Woodruff, he was out of town.
Yep.
So the whole household was like freaking the fuck out. You know, they lost these 2 poor little innocent babies and this young ass wife, and master of the house wasn't home.
Right.
And Chloe's like, shit. She's like, I'm pretty fucking positive everybody's going to figure out they ate that cake and then now they're dead and I made that fucking cake.
Right.
She's like, not good, not good, not good.
No.
This went wrong. So she goes to the people, the other slaves on the property, and she's like, hey man, I fucked up. Can you help me?
Right.
And they were like, bitch, we ain't going down with you.
You know, but hold on a second. You got a lady working with you. You know that her and your man are hooking up. And then her ear gets cut off because she's like, you know, possibly because of something that you said, or possibly because she was caught by the judge. Are you going to eat a cake from this bitch? Or are you going to be like, oh, that was so sweet. Thank you so much, Chloe. Now peace the fuck out. And then throw that shit in the trash can.
I just ate dollar store chocolates that were smushed.
You've had those dollar store chocolates forever. This is different. There's some shit going on here. And the trust was, it blows my mind that this young kid who thought that she had it all would put herself and her kids in this danger, knowing this woman was sleeping with her man and that her ear had been cut off. Like, she actually has a reason for revenge. She actually has a reason for revenge, regardless of whether the story says she revenged or not. She could be like, "Fuck yeah."
I think I can totally see the naive attitude of Sarah,
because she just thought she was above it.
Well, no, I mean, she's like, what, maybe a 20-year-old girl at this point, and her 50-year-old husband is probably already picked him up another fucking slave or mistress or something and is fucking them. And Sarah's like, whatever, Chloe, I know it's not really your fault. Like, deep down, she knows it's not really her fault. Like, Chloe's nosy and it's annoying. And she probably didn't like, this was probably maybe the first mistress or something.
That she knew of, right?
That she knew of, because Chloe's so bad at being, like, quiet about things.
Yeah, clearly.
And she's just all up in her face all the time.
Right.
And getting away with being eavesdropping. I imagine Judge Clark, like, let it go a couple of times. And then Sarah's like, that's not right, you know? Yeah. So I think she probably saw her husband for who he truly was. Maybe she even knew deep down, she could see it's not really Chloe's choice. And so she's like, she's not a bad person. This cake looks delicious.
Sure. Okay. But you know, some of those
it's
movies...
not like Clark's home. I can eat this fucking cake and then still tell Clark when he gets home, like, nope, that bitch ain't coming in the house.
So the mom and the two kids pass away, and Chloe is still there watching all of this brutality just unfold, right?
Yeah,
and
but
she realizes that
panicking the fuck out.
No, absolutely. But you've seen these movies before where the people are, you could see, I mean, in my mind, I can see the mom struggling, puking, trying to care for her kids. And she's like, Chloe, you know, just dying. You know that.
Why did nobody send for help then? I wonder how instantaneously it happens. They said that it didn't take that much to even kill a horse.
Right.
With this type of leaf.
I mean, so
maybe it was more instantaneous.
And then that was it?
Yeah, it was pretty sudden. No reaction time.
And Chloe was the only one in the house.
Some plants and find out?
No, absolutely. I can't eat a lot of things. So
I think we established you definitely should not be eating these.
Which, P.S., I don't try new things. So don't be handing me.
We should have brought those. We should have found this leaf and brought it in, though.
We could be eating popcorn and be like, this is a leaf.
Like as a trigger item. That's what I mean.
Oh,
a trigger item.
Yeah, that's great.
God, why didn't we think of that?
We still have time.
Let's go.
Okay. Finish up. Let's do this.
We'll find a farmer's market at 9:00 at night.
It's 7.
It's 7. And I know that's not very creatures of the night. We should We're trying to knock a couple out.
Yes, but we have to do this. You know, stores close early.
We plan to be in this bathroom for a long time. Handling business. Anyway, so Chloe like freaks the fuck out. She asked for other people for help, like the other slaves that work there and everything, and they were like, nah bitch, we ain't going down. I don't blame them for being like, every man for yourself. You have to fucking protect yourself too.
Well, they were probably they felt like shit because this bitch was in the house for a really long time, and I say bitch loosely. I'm sorry, but Chloe was a house lady. She got the finer things.
You know,
for
we
a
made
slave.
that whole informant story up, but that may not have been what it is. She might have just been living in the house. I'm sure it was not what she asked for. Obviously, this entire life is not what she asked for.
And that whole listening to the the conversations could have just been like her daytime TV soaps.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Spice
just for
things up.
Fucking entertainment and find out what's going on if you're not bored as shit.
Yeah, exactly. So they didn't, from what I understand, they didn't trust her. And when she came to them for help, they were like, sorry,
we can't help you. We're not going down.
They were like, sorry, not sorry. Can you imagine that?
It's so really sad.
Sorry, like, not sorry.
It's sad when she came to the realization they weren't going to help her either.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, we're not only going to not help you, we're going to fucking take care of this before
we're going to judge you
Clark
for this shit.
Even home.
Right.
And his last name's Woodruff, by the way. I feel like if I don't say the whole name, you'll be like, who's Judge Clark? Judge Clark.
I used to watch that show. Is that People's Court? Dun, 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 dun.
I like Judge Judy.
I do. I like People's Court.
She was spicy. So they string her up and they hang her. And then they throw her in the Mississippi River.
She was just confused. She was just looking for a good time.
You know what, though? What if they just told everybody
that they did that? Yeah, I was wondering about that earlier, too.
And then they were like, actually, we just helped Chloe, like, get out.
Or maybe they did string her up.
That's like the fantasy version of it when you want everything to end well, though. Is that you think these people were like, no, man, Chloe, we can't help you, but you've got to go.
Okay, so that's where we differ.
We're going to tell everybody that this is what we did.
I like a horror for it to be a true horror. I want it to end on a horror. I don't want it to end with a good ending.
And that's why I don't watch horror movies.
So, on that same note, so I like how you ended it. It actually turned out well. They actually helped her out and got her off this land. In my mind, they hung her and they buried her on this land.
And that's the brutal reality of the way life really is. So, I mean, your story and what this piece of paper is saying is still the better. I mean, nobody even brings up the other scenario. I'm the only one that's like, I'm going to Wikipedia this shit in it.
Right.
If we're just all throwing out legends, and I'm going to be like, or they helped her get away.
They don't know where her body is, right?
Nope.
There's no burial. There's nothing.
Nope, they put her in the Mississippi River. You don't find shit once it goes in there.
That's what they say. Because what are they going to say? They put her in the Mississippi. And if we were to start walking, how long would it take us to get to the Mississippi River from where we are?
Exactly. Where are we?
Well,
we got to know where this water is other than the pond that I denied earlier.
I was about to say,
I don't think alligators are living in that. Alligators don't live in the Mississippi, do they?
I don't.
Like offshoots of it. I don't think I have enough alligator knowledge for us to be here.
I don't have enough. I'm not brave enough to find out. Let me just say that. But I would like to know if the story says they hung her, they took her down and threw her in the Mississippi. I mean, and shit changes over time. We know that erosion, whatever. So was the Mississippi closer at that time frame? Is it more likely? You know, and this is off subject, but when you're looking into
the width of the Mississippi has changed over in time, but I think it's water levels that makes more of the difference than erosion. But no, I mean, they claim they took, I mean, like, I don't think we're incredibly that close to where the Mississippi is.
Right.
So if I think about where we are geographically on the map, I feel like they took a fucking 2-day drive to the Mississippi.
2-day on a horse and carriage. And how would they have done that? I really
to send a live Chloe down the boat, down the Mississippi and out into the ocean.
And she
went to Puerto Rico. That's my story.
I love that. And that's beautiful. But I'm since they have photographs of Chloe here on the property.
But we don't know that it's necessarily.
No, that's true. I'm not a medium and I've never contacted her. But the picture is similar to the stories said of what she looked like. You're absolutely right. I don't know. But I would be more inclined to think that if the slaves that lived here in this house were so tired of her shit that they judged her and hung her and killed her, that they either burned her and
damn, you're taking it a step further. I'm like, she was their savior and they helped her get out. And you're like, I think they burned her instead of took her. They just lied about taking her to the river.
I'm going along with the story. I'm just saying that taking her to the river is impossible. That's along the lines
of what we were talking about the other day about when you burn something and it kind of lights unleashes.
Yeah. That's actually
spirits in it.
That's where
you were trying to go.
Yep.
Opposed to like if she had buried it, it's like she should be at semi-rest. I mean, she was murdered. Like here, so that's not really at rest.
Murdered by her own people who, if she was an informant, she was trying to help them.
I feel like that would be really shitty to be like, these people will help me, and then you get that realization you're 100% alone.
Right.
That's awful.
It's sad.
So that's it on Chloe. Obviously, everybody knows, or a lot of people know, the historic photograph that was taken by an insurance agent, which has nothing to do with the fire in 2014. Like I accidentally started saying.
Maybe I should change my profession to be an insurance agent so that I could go out and take photos.
Catch ghosts.
Holy shit.
And how many times has that happened? This is the one.
I just want to be a claims adjuster because those are the people that go out and take photos. And I'm in New England. There's ghosts all over the fucking place.
Just littering the streets.
Just littering. Yes, they're walking around all over the place. So I just need whatever the fuck kind of camera this bitch had.
And just like a disposable camera or digital camera.
Done. I can get this on Amazon, and I proved it.
So there was so they have a famous photograph here where there was an insurance agent that was taking photographs of the property for a quote or whatever. I don't fucking know. Somebody was fucking out here taking photographs that works for a company that had has no paranormal passion and was like looking for this stuff. That's not the goal of what they were here. They were blindly shooting their fucking photographs. They were told nobody was on the property.
Right.
They state they never saw anybody on the property. They send the photographs off to the insurance company. The insurance company replies back, denied. They're like, you got a fucking person in your photograph, follow the instructions.
Right.
And then they're like, bull fucking shit, I was there by myself.
There was
and
nobody there.
Like, no, we made sure nobody was there.
That's a lot like the photograph that I showed you last night. It's the same situation, only it wasn't an insurance adjuster. It was a photographer just taking pictures of places that were completely void of people.
Of the French Quarter, And then he said there was nobody there, and then there's a fucking person. Yeah. So they asked the photograph to be sent back, and then they're looking at it, and they're like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
And sure enough, it looks like an apparition.
It's a beautiful photo.
It's translucent, so you can see through it. Yeah. It does look like there is a very dark maskness on the head. So like this turban idea is thrown out there. And so they believe that it is the spirit of Chloe. Yeah. She's also coming from the area that the servants would have walked up to, servants/slaves, truly slaves, so would have walked up to enter into the area where they would go to the dining rooms to serve patients. No. Where am I? People. Am I at work?
Oh, no. Don't start thinking about that.
Disgusting.
You still have one amazing day in Louisiana to fulfill.
Fuck yeah.
Don't think about work.
So Chloe's the most famous because she was kind of the first photographed. And then since then, there's been a spiral of photographs by
Nope.
Edit that out. Block. What
people? PPL. People.
People that have stayed here in the B&B. Photographs of what they believe is Kate Winter. It's a little girl with chubby cheeks.
Beautiful. And there's cute little kid, too.
Oh, my God. And there's a painting of her. Yes. And she's got the chubby cheeks.
Is it on the other side, the painting of her?
No, where the game room was. When we took when you take the house tour and they take you through all the dining rooms. Yeah, it was the children's dining room. It's a game room later when they were like, fuck those kids. They can eat in their room. I don't know. Maybe they started letting them eat at the regular table because they wanted a game room. And so there's this adorable photograph of her, and she's just a cute little, looks redheaded.
She looks like chubby cheeks. I love her. She's so, I want to take her Nurse Nancy and just be like, look, we brought you this little doll with the music box.
Yeah. They've gotten other apparitions as well, which those are the two most famous ones I've seen. Oh, the one of the two kids on the roof.
That's what I was about to bring up. You didn't mention that, so I'm like, wait a second, hold on.
Oh, in that favorite photograph with Chloe, they had sent it off to analyst after analyst. Basically, they're like, okay, well, now can you look at this a little further, because they're like, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
So they did some shadow like kind of type
and this is what I'm going to start doing on all of my photographs, because
send it to the guy in
I
London.
was blown away. No, I'm going to figure out this whole shadow analysis, because
it can't be that hard.
It is not.
Look on Pinterest.
The photograph there are two additional people in the fucking photograph you cannot see on the regular photograph until he does this shadow enhancement.
Yeah. And they're on the fucking roof of the house. Roof.
And you can clearly see them. It's not like maybe it's a blob that could be two kids. It's two children.
Yeah, so people think that Kate Winter is just roaming around the house, like just hanging out. And then they also think that it's very possible that Sarah James and Cornelia Woodruff are hanging out in the house.
That's cool.
And they think that that's the two kids that are on the roof is Cornelia and James.
Yeah.
There was also a young man that lived in the house at some point in time, and he had apparently asked his mother, can I play on the chandeliers. And she was like, fuck to the no. Where did you get that from? And he's like, that little blonde girl plays on the chandeliers. And she's like, what little blonde girl? Cornelia was blonde. So they think that the climbing aspect of like climbing on the chandeliers, climbing on the roof, that kind of matches up that story. There is a lady in white that is seen. I think people believe that is Sarah.
I want to see her. Can we just get a photograph of her? That'd be fine.
That would be 100% fine.
That would work for you?
Let's
do that.
Yeah. If there was like parting gifts at haunted places and they gave you the ghost that you were looking for,
awesome.
that would be nice.
I would just like, yes, I'd like to, I would like to be taking like a selfie of me, obviously.
And they're
it's a
behind
selfie.
you?
And there's Sarah in her like white dress. Be like, done.
Mic
Mic drop.
It's like the two of you taking a selfie, how we take
Yeah,
selfies
she's
all day
like,
together.
peace sign. I'm like duck lips.
Guess what? So I did a day tour of the Washoe Club in Nevada City. That's not right. Virginia City.
Oh.
It's in Virginia City, Nevada. And a bitch did that. I mean,
wait a second.
I'm going to call her a bitch because I'm mad that she got what I would dream for.
She
basically was taking a picture of herself in a room and behind her is a damn fucking apparition. I think it's of a dude.
Gonna have to murder this woman because
I'm so fucking mad at her.
That's insane.
Yeah. She got what we would always dream of. She's just like, I'm so cute.
What if I just do nothing but selfies tonight?
Who's that guy?
Oh, what?
Yeah. And they like the Washoe Club shows it off now, because like they feel it's legit. Like the shit that the Myrtles gets back. Lots of people take pictures at the Myrtles. You could submit them to the people at the Myrtles, and they will send it off to their legit guy.
Yeah, right.
In London to get it checked out.
You can't time this shit, and that's beautiful.
Cool.
That's awesome.
They're like, yeah, cool. If you think that's something, send it to me, and I'll have it checked out for you.
Do we still get to keep it and use it
until they prove whether it's worth their financial money or not? Because they want to make postcards. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them. I bought 2 postcards today.
Right? You fell for that shit.
Oh, I wanted them. I want it.
So they think that Sarah and Cornelia and James are all haunting the location. I mean, not only because they died of a poisonous cake, which is sad.
Poisonous cake sucks.
That's awful. All cakes are poisonous to you. But no, because apparently the house was in such a commotion after their death that there's a mirror in the hallway, in the same hallway that those haunted stairs are at, that William Winter died on.
Oh, yeah.
Years and years after Sarah, James, and Cornelia died. But there's a mirror in that hallway that was not covered up, which was the tradition to cover up the mirrors so that the spirits would not be trapped in the mirrors.
They didn't cover that mirror up.
They did not cover that mirror up. They just kind of forgot about it.
Wow. They had so many mirrors to cover up. Did they cover up the petticoat mirrors too?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm assuming that they have to. I would assume any piece of glass.
Those were the ones they
glass like that.
That's why they forgot about this other one.
Fuck yeah, I would too.
They're always checking their fucking ankles. So
yeah,
they're like,
I mean,
cover
that
this
one room and there's only that one mirror in it or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's the front doorway. Everybody's coming in and out, running through all the rooms, checking multiple mirrors and petticoat mirrors and regular mirrors. They apparently didn't cover that one. And so now this is like one of the most haunted objects in America, much like this is the most haunted house in America. And they think that it's haunted by Sarah, James, and Cornelia, and they get handprints. There's a what would you call it? It looks like there's like a profile of a face.
Yes. Okay.
In the photo.
Yep.
And then there's also streak marks that they're like, we don't know if it's blood or tears. I'm going to vote tears if you don't see blood. I mean,
right. I would,
you know how you've seen statues that bleed? Well, I haven't seen it, but you know,
I know what you're talking about.
You know
but
how
I've never
there's
seen
stories about statues bleeding red
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think that if a mirror really wanted to bleed blood, it would.
Right. It would be demonic or something if it was blood.
Right.
It
so
makes
if
more
there's
sense for it
streaks
to be
on
tears.
Then you want to decipher whether it's blood or tears. We'll go with tears.
Okay.
I think so.
I'll lean towards
So they
tears.
see all this stuff in this mirror. And so we want to speak our honest opinion about that mirror.
Yeah. Why not?
It's dirty as fuck.
It's super dirty. Clearly, they never clean it. She said that they
claim that they put it off. They took it off for cleaning,
but
and and the marks always come back. But you know when you like clean your carpet and then you keep walking on it and then those stains come back because they're in the fucking carpet
Oh,
pad.
clearly. Yeah. Well, I mean, our tour guide today, she went up there and she put her hands physically on the mirror and she's like, here is the face. She's
Did she
drawing.
touch it?
Yeah, she drew on it with her hand. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't believe that that's actually a face now because you touched it over and over again.
Because we've seen a cleaning crew in here, but they're cleaning the rooms.
Right, the rooms. And they are a beautiful,
So,
wonderful
I don't think
group
they're
of
cleaning
cleaning people.
the-
I love them. Just putting that out there.
Mutual spaces
No.
for the tours.
I really don't think anybody touches that mirror because I think it's such a sacramental piece in this
She
entire
touches it.
location. Well, she does, and maybe every tour guide that comes in here touches it, but I don't think any of the cleaning people. I think they stay the fuck away from that mirror.
That mirror looks dirty as fuck. And when we were at Rosedown, I noticed those mirrors look dirty as fuck.
So mirrors, the way that they're made, they get old because they're old ass mirrors, and that technology or whatever is long since passed. They don't make mirrors like that anymore. They have better technology. So the mirrors that we have today aren't going to start looking like that.
Right, because there's like a cover or sealant on the bag. It's going to start to peel and tear away or whatever.
Right, and what the tour guide said today is that they resealed this mirror. I don't know why my voice got so weird, but it did. So they took it down and they resealed the mirror and cleaned it and then set it back up for everybody, and then suddenly
the images came back.
The image came back, the streaks came back, like the tears or the blood, everything just came back. Which, yes, of course that's going to happen if you're taking old shit and you're just
recoding it.
If you're going to paint a wall and the wall has some damage to it or there was some shit there before. If you don't take the time to buff that shit out, sand it down, or what's that other stuff you fill in the holes with and then buff that shit out? Yeah. You just paint over it. You're still going to see what's there. You're not replacing anything. You're just adding another coat to it, and then it's still going to be there. So my thoughts on the mirror are, I still love it. It's still lore, and it's still a big deal.
20 photos of it.
I took as many pictures of that
with every camera that we own.
Every different angle and every camera. Yes, because I want it. It's lore, and that's the thing I think that both me and you gravitate towards.
Well, if I see
this
a
is
full
it.
face of a woman in there and she got makeup on and everything. Yep. Oh, some of the photos that we saw in the gift shop, they were pretty good.
They were good.
If we caught some shit like that, I'd be like, sweet.
Right. But we were there at 9:30 in the morning.
But I'm not going to be
weren't
looking
playing
at
with us.
every line in the mirror and being like,
we're not trying to find something in the mirror that's not
an
there.
eyeball,
But if there's a woman's face there that clearly stands out, then that might be something worth talking about. But like you said, every line that and the matrixing that we've talked about probably 10 times today. So what's 11? When you see something in a reflective surface that doesn't really make sense, your brain is automatically going to turn it into a face.
It's like looking at an ink blot. You're like, what does that look like?
A butterfly.
Or like looking at a cloud.
A skull.
You're like, what does that look like? A penis. I mean, like... And then it just says something about you.
All right.
Your problems. And
I honestly... it's weird that you bring that up. So
when you're obsessed with ghosts and you're looking at a mirror and you're like, I see a ghost.
I see a ghost.
Yeah. I didn't say I see a penis. I'm just saying. Some people might.
No, but I thought about this on the way over. I was looking at clouds because it was very cloudy on the flight over. And I'm like, as a child, I've never been able to look up at the clouds and see figures like people do.
What is wrong with you?
Never, ever, ever have I ever been able to do it. I could be like, it's...
a cloud.
A cloud.
But sometimes they do make shapes.
I guess.
I don't think they always do.
Some people are like, it's a dinosaur or it's
very easy
computer.
To look like a dinosaur,
because they have all kinds of bumps and teeth and stuff. I don't ever see it. I've seen pictures on Facebook of that's Jesus coming down.
Oh, fuck.
And they're beautiful pictures, but I've never actually looked up at the clouds and laid down and picked out certain shapes and was like, yeah, that's what that is. I was never able to do it.
You need to redo your childhood.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I liked my childhood.
Oh, okay.
I have a very vivid imagination now, so maybe that's why.
Just anyways, so, I totally skipped over about Kate, my favorite little girl in the world.
And that page doesn't look very full either, so I'm worried.
No, but I mean, we know the story because we heard it earlier today.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
And I knew it before. So when Kate Winters was sick, they believe that she haunts the location because there's a pretty famous photo of her as well.
Yeah.
In a window.
I bought that postcard also.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yeah, chubby little cheeks and everything. Kate passed away. Some people say from typhoid. Others say scarlet fever or yellow fever. Who fucking knows? She died from a disease, though. So while she was sick, though, she's the Winter's child. So William Winter and his wife, Sarah, with an H. And they were very concerned about her, and they called for a voodoo priestess.
That's right.
And this is Cleo.
This is my girl.
Not Chloe.
Not to be confused with the 1-800 call Cleo. You remember her?
I forgot about her. Yeah, no, I totally remember. You know that you're up way too late when those commercials
Call
start coming
Cleo.
out. And you're like, what fucking time is it?
Oh my God, I need to call her.
When this starts seeming like a good idea, it's time to go to bed. And that was when I was like a child.
Yeah.
I have a credit card now, so
I'd call that bitch. We're going to go to somebody tomorrow, so she might be like Cleo's follower.
Oh, I love tarot card readers. Like if they're legit, man. So Cleo came and she did like her voodoo deal on the child. I'm not really sure what she did, but you know,
she got a gree bag.
That's what I thought, that it was just like she had made a bag of herbs, basically, right?
And this is kind of fucked up. Yeah, yes. She just made a gree bag. She did a blessing on her gree bag.
Exactly.
She placed it under where the child was sleeping.
And she was like, I hope this just does the trick.
Right.
I wish you the best of luck.
Basically,
Thank you.
this is all I can do for you.
This is what I can do for you.
Not a doctor.
It's like the idea of you being like, I get headaches all the time. I'm going to put some herbs underneath my pillow while I sleep. Or I have nightmares. And so I'm going to put lavender on my pillow or whatever.
Herbs to me.
So this is exactly what Cleo did. Yeah. The little girl still died.
Yep. It was too fucking late, and those people were assholes. They should have got a real fucking doctor. Look, I get it. The gree bag, they went to somebody who was close by, but it was something that was an incurable disease at the time.
We're 2 hours from New Orleans. What? Oh wait, we're right by Baton Rouge, though. There should have been people.
There should have been
doctors in Baton Rouge.
Real doctors
called.
Right.
Well, I don't know what I bet they had probably contacted doctors already.
Maybe. And they were like,
nobody was helping them.
This could be like a homeopathic kind of situation.
Like, let's try everything. So legend has it that when their daughter died, Kate Winters, who they believe haunts this property, that they also went and got Cleo and hung her.
And how many of the doctors did they hang? Because I don't know if you could tell, but I was biting my tongue until you got that out.
Exactly. They claimed, she came here and she didn't try to heal my daughter. She put a hex on her.
Yeah.
She was sick already, asshole.
Right. So, but they just decide to say she hexed her. Not. They went and found this woman to try and help her.
Yeah.
And they brought her into the situation.
And they were like, that didn't work, so fuck you.
So you die.
So I kind of feel like it's like when you stub your toe and then maybe you like punch your like...
Which I do often. Whatever I stub...
Your pillow or whatever. I was going to say punch your cat, but you don't actually punch your cat. I don't punch my cat. Mm-hmm. I'm totally joking, but I mean like you want to like...
I don't punch cats. I might scream at them. Just because.
I mean, you totally want to react out on the people that you love around you.
I slam cabinets. Does that count? There's nobody actually getting hurt.
And they're your cabinets.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I get mad and in the past, I'm better now. I've seeked help. And I've broken shit. And then as soon as I break it, I'm like, now I don't have an alarm clock anymore.
That was me, and it was like now I don't have a phone anymore because I threw it against the wall.
And you're like, now I have to clean that shit up.
Right.
And it's like, well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what they did. They were probably so devastated from the loss of their child, and they were just a fucking asshole.
Vent.
They took it out on somebody else, and that was wrong.
That was fucking wrong.
And that's not super documented either, apparently. But it's just one of the legends.
Why would you document that?
Lores of the location.
Why would you document
that? You're an asshole and a murderer.
Nope.
I mean, it's totally documented her death.
Cleo.
No, I meant Kate's death.
Oh.
Nobody.
I'm sorry.
Is keeping fantastic records on anything else.
Right.
When they don't consider people real people, like assholes. There has to be a meaner word for them.
No, your deep voice was pretty mean, though.
Oh, good. So that's part. I mean, Kate's here because she passed away. It really doesn't. And Cleo, as far as we understand, is not here. Though we just had a whole conversation about.
She wasn't from here. She was brought into the situation. So maybe she's haunting wherever the fuck she's from. Chloe.
As far as I know, Cleo is not here.
Right.
But you know, I want to know what people's piece of evidence were that they specifically got the name of the lady in the turban between the two buildings, the general store and the house that they got a photograph of. What's her fucking name? So who's to say that she is Chloe versus Cleo versus her name's actually, you know, Isabella?
No, I'm with you because everything that I've heard since, arranging to come to this location points to Cleo versus
based solely off of her looks.
Based on Chloe. Based on her looks. Mm-hmm. Exactly. The turban. And because she's missing the ear. But what if Cleo wore a turban too? I mean, people don't like to wash their hair every fucking day. I know that. I would rock a turban if I could.
I rock my hair in a bun every day almost.
I do dry shampoo when I can. And
it would help it look better by putting on a colorful little like wrap around it.
Yeah, girl.
Also keep the sweat off your
love
forehead.
That. Hell, I love that. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very possible that it could have been anybody.
It could have been.
But these are the stories and the legends that go. So it gives you some ground to work with. If you come to this location, you've got these names to start with. That's why you should do EVP sessions.
Right.
And really rely on the actual evidence that you get from the voices, from the actual spirit.
And we should do a burst EVP, a couple of burst EVPs just to see if we get
EVPs during these recordings.
No shit. And we're
hello, Chloe, are you in our bathroom?
Don't edit if you get another voice, because while we've been recording,
that would be the star of this fucking show. Chloe, would you like to be the star of this show? I don't think Chloe's in this bathroom.
Why would she be?
I don't know. I mean,
she could be listening to the door.
Little Kate, are you in here? Wait, this is supposed to be the nursery part of the house that we're in.
Is that why this bathroom is jacked?
Yeah, because there were like little people in here, basically. Little kids is what I mean. Like, little kids. That's why this bathtub is made for, just a
podcasting
6-year-old. And podcasting. It's podcasting and soaking your feet if you want.
Yeah. Oh, we should have done that tonight.
We should have.
Well, I don't know. I would have knocked things into our soak.
So just to wrap it up real quick, of course, somebody threw out, this property was built on a Native American burial ground.
Was it?
Because what, home isn't. And obviously it went through the trials and tribulations of the Civil War.
Hold on a second.
It's very possible that Union soldiers were killed here, which we already talked about. Union are Confederate because some plantations were taken over by the Union soldiers.
Yes, they were.
Nice plantations.
But
somebody claims that they saw a young Native American woman.
It was a good story. And it's a place where we are staying 2 nights in a row. It has a lot of historic value and a lot of hauntings to go with it. And maybe, like you suggested earlier, there's another voice or two on our recordings. That would be super sweet. But we are in a bathroom. The bathroom isn't supposed to be haunted. But the room that we're staying in.
Yes, but we were trying to make it secluded. So if you want to get away from the other
voices in the
house,
hallway,
then come with us into the bathroom. It's very quiet and peaceful in here. We brought pillows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have beverages and pillows and electronics for you to fuck with. This battery is on 1%.
All right, so let's wrap it up.
Oh, fucking shit.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
It's been a great podcast. High five. You did great. Woo! Good night.
What were we going to say? Pineapple out.
Pineapple out. Cold plate. Good night.
Yeah.
Peace.
Fuck you. Go home.